This was the reaction at full time to Aberdeen's 1-0 win against St Johnstone on Saturday. My thanks to Rob Simpson for allowing me the use of those pictures which he took from outside the ground at full time. Aberdeen are back to winning ways. Here's some facts for you. Saturday's victory against St Johnstone was Aberdeen's first away league win in 20 games. This was Jim Goodwin's fourth victory in 15 Premier League matches. Next up, it's Livingston at Pittodrie on Saturday. So the win took us into the top half of the table. If we keep the momentum going, we can climb even further next week. Hi everybody, a very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Monday evening here on YouTube. I'd just like to say thank you to all of you who subscribed over the weekend. Lots of you came on board, and this will probably be the first time that you get to see what we do. So I really hope you enjoy the watch tonight. This is all about the review and you, the fans, getting involved. So just before we get to that, I would just like to start tonight's show by offering condolences to the family of the St Johnstone fan who sadly passed away on Saturday. They were taken ill before the game, and despite the best efforts of the medical staff on hand, unfortunately they very sadly passed away. So our love and our thoughts and our condolences are very much with the family. So coming up a little bit later, we'll be hearing from Gary from ABZ Podcast, who offers us his thoughts on Saturday and looking ahead to Livingston, as well as North Sound 1's sports editor, Dave Galloway, who was gushing about a certain Leighton Clarkson, who I thought was absolutely magnificent on Saturday. But first, let's just get the thoughts of what the manager had to say. This is what Mr. Goodwin had to say. I've just picked out what I thought was a telling quote. The reaction after last week was important, and we got that. Football's easy when you're winning, but when you lose, and lose the way we did last weekend, that's when you find out a lot about people. The week we had in training, backed up by today, was everything that I was hoping for. I think it's safe to say it was everything that we also were all hoping for. I just took some notes about the performance on Saturday, just sort of jotted them down. Johnny Hayes, who made his 300th appearance, he just looks as fresh as ever. I thought he was just magnificent and busy as always. Hayden Coulson, I thought he was magnificent. What a player this kid could be. Anthony Stewart, in my opinion, the best game he's had for Aberdeen yet. And the reaction to last week's criticism against Motherwell, I think he handled it perfectly. I thought he was fantastic on Saturday. So in general, I just thought we had more energy about our play, more zip about our play. I thought we moved the ball across the park an awful lot better. And what impressed me the most was the fact that we started 100 times better in this game against St Johnstone than we did against Motherwell. It was almost night and day, and long may it continue. So get in touch tonight and I'll read all your comments out. But first, as promised, let's hear what Gary had to say from ABZ Podcast. We caught up earlier today. Hi Gary, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Okay, so let's have your general thoughts on Saturday's performance overall, please.
Better is probably the one word I would use to describe compared to what happened the week before. I think it's important that we don't run off and get too excited by it. I think a lot of people, potentially ourselves on the ABZ, got a bit excited as well with the St Mirren performance, and I think sometimes you need to put these performances into context. But it was an improvement, a big improvement. I was impressed by a number of things about the way we played on Saturday. I was impressed with the shape we decided to go with as well. I think that really helped us against St Johnstone. But yeah, better. Again, it needs to be put in context. I thought St Johnstone weren't really up to much, and I think that they're going to have a real struggle this season. But it's a clean sheet. It's our first away league win since the corresponding fixture in December last year. So you've got to take the positives where they come, and hopefully we can build on that now and really kick on as the season progresses.
I take your point about St Johnstone not looking overly great. They did create one or two worrying moments for us. But overall, do you think we looked more assured at the back?
Oh yeah, a million times more assured at the back than what we looked against Motherwell. I mean, we talk about it. We recorded our episode of the podcast. It's going to go out on Wednesday last night. And we'll go into it in a lot more detail there, but we looked so much more assured just right the way through the team, having Ross McCrory back in the centre of the park. I think Liam Scales and Anthony Stewart have clearly developed a bit of a partnership that's starting to work. I thought it was probably Anthony Stewart's best game for Aberdeen so far on Saturday, which I thought was really important because he didn't have a great game against Motherwell. But let's be honest, nobody really did. And I thought Hayden Coulson was the guy who I think attracted a lot of attention positively. And he looked really good on Saturday. So hopefully that's a good sign going forward. But yeah, absolutely 100 times more assured at the back than what we did against Motherwell.
Yeah, I mentioned on the big Saturday football show on North Sun One how I thought Hayden was fantastic. I thought he was our standout player. Absolutely superb. Okay, but now it's important that we have to follow this up on Saturday against Livingston, because these are the type of games that if we do have any ambitions to do well this year, these are the games that we have to pick up 3 points at home.
Yeah, I mean, we said, I think, after the opening game of the season that visits to Parkhead, visits to Ibrox this season are probably not going to define where we end up finishing this season. I think, statistically speaking, every other team in the league will lose at Celtic Park this season. I'm pretty confident saying that right now. So you don't win or lose anything necessarily by not picking up points there. It's the home matches against your St Mirrens, against your Livingstons, away fixtures at St Johnstone. They're going to dictate where we finish this season. If we've got any hopes of finishing in the top 3 or in the top 4, which I think with our budget this season is where we have to be aiming as a bare minimum, then yeah, it has to be maximum points at home at Livingston, especially because of the Motherwell result a couple of weeks ago as well now.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, mate. Lovely to see you as always. Thanks for coming on and contributing, and we shall catch up again soon.
Yeah, not a problem. Nice one. Cheers,
Bye,
Javier.
mate. Bye-bye. 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 My thanks to Gary. So if you do want to get involved with their guys and their podcast, it's absolutely brilliant. They always have excellent reviews, excellent previews, and fantastic one-on-one interviews with players past and present. ABZ Football Podcast. Right, guys, lots of you on YouTube tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Kaiser said a lot better, pretty much dominated the game. He also said Coulson at left back is a big improvement. Completely agree, Kaiser. Fraser Gunn has come on. Hi, Fraser. How are you? Stewart looked like real captain material, 100%. And Miovski looking much sharper too. What did we think of that offside goal? Initially, in real time, I thought he was off. But in hindsight, by watching the replays at half time, I don't think he was offside. And I'm absolutely convinced if VAR was in play on that day, I think that goal would have stood. But again, what a finish, eh? John Bleasdale. Hi, John. How are you? Hayes, without doubt, playing his best football since 2017. An absolute joy to watch. And Fraser continues to say, do you think we will go for Ronan, not even making the bench at Wolves? To be honest with you, I really don't know. But I am convinced that there is more business to be done before the close of the window. Right, let's have a quick look and see how some of the newspapers reacted, because lots of them were gushing about Leighton Clarkson, who opens up on Aberdeen, Liverpool, Steven Gerrard, and that James Maddison moment, talking to the brilliant Alison McConnell in The Scotsman, and Aberdeen Live also talking about how delighted all the Aberdeen fans were with our win on Saturday. So I don't know if you've come across the chat with Leighton Clarkson. He basically said it was a no-brainer to come up here on loan, and he credits his free kick to Steven Gerrard. So when he was at the youth academy at Liverpool, Steven Gerrard was his coach, and would give him extra sort of lessons and talked him through how to take a free kick. Take your time, don't rush it, you're in control of the situation. And he just practiced and practiced and practiced, and he confessed that he actually watched the James Maddison free kick only on Friday night because it popped up on his social media timeline. So he took inspiration from that as well. So it was a fascinating read. Leighton Clarkson was just one of the topics that North Sound 1 sports editor Dave Galloway and I touched on, as well as the game and as well as looking ahead to Livingston on Saturday. This is what Dave had to say. Hi, Dave. Thanks for jumping on. As always, good to see you. Okay, so let's start. I've just mentioned there about Leighton Clarkson, who's really made one hell of an impression since coming on loan from Liverpool. Um, you've really enjoyed what he's had to say post St Johnstone, right?
Yeah, he's a very articulate and intelligent young man, Ali. I have to say, the goal that he got, I would say it would already be a goal of the season contender. It was that good. It was unbelievable. You know, what a free kick, worthy of winning any game, any
Mm.
game. If it was scored in the English Premier League or La Liga or one of the top leagues in the world, you know, everybody would be raving about it, and the video of it would go viral. But it's only Scotland, so anyway, I diverged slightly. He doesn't seem to do tap-ins either, does he?
No.
His goal against St Mirren was magnificent as well. But no, I was very impressed with what he had to say. Works very hard. He goes in for extra free kick practice in training, and you could see practice makes perfect. And he's had that drilled into him at one of the best clubs in the world at Liverpool, where he was a standout star at the youth academy under the tutelage of a certain Mr. Stephen Gerrard, whom he credited with some great advice about free kicks. Like, take your time, don't rush it.
Mm.
You have the power. You're in control.
Control.
Do it at
Yeah.
your own pace, etc. And my goodness me, it has it's certainly paid off handsomely for him.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him so far. He's got a big future ahead of him, I think, if he keeps his feet on the ground, continues to work hard and stay strong mentally. I think he's got a big future. Okay, let's talk about the reaction from the team to the Motherwell game, because that's all I think that we were hoping for, was that there'd be a hugely improved performance, which we got. But the manager, more importantly, he'd be looking for the reaction, and he got it, Dave.
Yeah, he asked for the players to stand up and be counted, Ali. I mean, I always believe that, a team, if they've battled back from a goal down to go into the lead, then that should be it. They've got the advantage, they've got the momentum, but incredibly, 7 minutes later,
Mm.
they were 3-0, they were 3-2 down, which is, it's just not acceptable. And everybody concurred with that. Yeah, he was looking for a reaction. We all were. This was much more like it from the Dons. For me, they were very good coming forward. Nobody expected a glut of goals against St Johnstone. It is, after all, 4 years since this fixture had a winning margin greater than one. We knew that Saints would set up doggedly. I wouldn't say park the bus, that might be a little bit unkind, but Callum Davidson's a very bright and astute and good young manager. He set his team up to be hard to break down. That's what we expected. We knew that patience would be a virtue, and that was going to be the order of the day. And Aberdeen just bided their time. They didn't like the setback of Majowski. He looked very good, by the way, of him having that header in the first half.
Yeah.
Disallowed. I think that was a trifle unlucky. To be fair, I've watched the replays, and I think there's a strong case for that goal standing. But Aberdeen just carried on going, and then a piece of genius from Mr. Clarkson.
Yeah. So all we need now is just that we take the momentum that we've built from McDermott Park and now take it to our game at Pittodrie on Saturday against Livingston, because that's what we need. We just need to get on a run of winning games back to back, keep that momentum going. So, because these are the games where we've got to pick up points, Dave, eh?
Yeah, I mean, no Aberdeen fan would like me saying, games against the old firm are a free hit. To some extent, there is something in that, because if you give your absolute best and you're playing against a team that's got 20 times your wage budget and you get beaten, if you're just simply outdone by the better team, you can't complain about that. But you're right, the bread and butter fixtures are what really count. And Livingston, under their manager, they're very hard to play against. They will come, they will fight, they will bite, and they will scratch. So Aberdeen will might be a case of having to match the kind of battling qualities win the war and then win the game sort of thing. So
Yeah.
if we need to roll our sleeves up and get stuck in and then win the game, then that's what Aberdeen have to do. And you're right, there's no point in playing well against St Johnstone and winning and then not turning up against Livingston. If Aberdeen are up for it, they really should claim the 3 points, you would think.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Dave, thanks so much. As always, great to see you. And we shall catch up very soon.
Cheers, Ali. All the best.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Dave. Always a pleasure to have your contribution. Keep your comments coming in tonight. We were discussing about potentially bringing in 2 more players. Kaiser's come back in and said he also believes we need at least 2 more players, as does Fraser, who also goes on to say might be a complete non-starter due to trying to bring squad age down, but would love to see us bring Graham Shinney back. Flexible player and great attitude. No doubt Jason Holt will spend lots of time rolling around on Saturday. Interesting thoughts. Some of you are talking about the Livingston game already. Kaiser said, hope lessons have been learned because Livingston will be a similar team to Motherwell. I completely agree with that. I think we know what we're going to get from Livingston on Saturday. They're going to come and sit in and try and hit us on the break, like most teams do at Pittodrie. And I think it will be up to us. When they don't have the ball, I think they'll go to a bank of 5 across their sort of back line. And then it's up to us to be creative in the final third to break them down. And I think we struggled against Motherwell to do that. And I hope we don't see a repeat of it. So all that I'm basically asking, and I'm sure you guys are as well, is that we keep the momentum going into Saturday, because these are the games where we do have to pick up points if we do have any ambitions of finishing as high as we possibly can and getting into Europe for next year. Right, guys, we're just about fun. Just a little bit of housekeeping just to finish off. Don't forget, it's less than a month now. Eric Black will be joining me at Mary Cooter House Hotel to chew the fat over his career. This is brunch, so you get an opportunity to come along and meet him, enjoy some breakfast, and then you get an opportunity to ask Eric your own questions as well. So really looking forward to popping over for the weekend to see Eric and you guys as well. Okay, we're all done, guys. Thank you so much for getting involved, as always, on a Monday night. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Keep an eye on my social media channels. Got some really exciting content coming up and a new project will be getting launched very soon as well. Details of that to come. But enjoy the rest of your week. Well done, the Dons, on Saturday, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.